Your pancreas regulates the way your body processes sugar. It also has another important function – to release enzymes and help you digest food. When your pancreas becomes swollen or inflamed, it cannot perform its function. This condition is called pancreatitis. Because the pancreas is so closely tied to your digestive process, it's affected by what you choose to eat. In case of acute pancreatitis, the inflammation is often triggered by gallstones. Before we move on, please subscribe to the channel to get notifications about the new videos. We're doing our best to create interesting content for you. First of all, let's have a look at the list of the top 7 products beneficial for the pancreas. Number 1. Broccoli. Broccoli and other cruciferous vegetables like cabbage, cauliflower, and kale are known for their property to fight cancer cells in the pancreas while keeping the organ fit and disease-free. These veggies provide easily absorbable nutrients loaded with flavonoids, which help in fortifying the detoxifying mechanism of our bodies. Cruciferous vegetables are rich in sulfur and support detoxification. Broccoli contains a number of anti-inflammatory substances like flavonoids, luteolin, quercetin, and myricetin, which not only eliminate any inflammatory processes in the pancreas, stomach, and liver, but also increase antioxidant properties of the organs. Number 2. Yogurts. Yogurts contain lots of probiotics that strengthen the digestive tract. Some Greek yogurts also boast added probiotics like Lactobacillus acidophilus and Lactobacillus casei that may help increase the population of good bacteria in your gut. All this contributes to the well-balanced production of pancreatic enzymes and decreases the load on the organ. A research study published by the National Cancer Institute states that individuals should eat 3 servings of yogurt per day. Yogurt contains active cultures that protect the pancreas and lower the risk of pancreatic cancer. Choose Greek yogurt to keep fat and sugar content low while maintaining high protein intake. Number 3. Pumpkin. Pumpkin is beneficial in various inflammatory diseases of somatic or infectious etiology of all the parts of gastrointestinal tract. The vegetable helps neutralize hydrochloric acid and also contains a lot of beneficial substances like potassium, carotene, magnesium, iron, copper, and pectins. Such components provide reliable protection of the mucous membrane of the stomach and duodenum, as well as normalize the work of the large papilla, through which pancreatic juice is released into the intestinal lumen. This ensures the prevention of the development of aseptic enzymatic inflammatory diseases. Pumpkin is especially good for patients with type 1 diabetes, as it lowers the blood glucose levels. There are many other researches on the influence of pumpkin on the tissue of the pancreas. For example, Chinese scientists have shown that the vegetable directly protects the cells of the organ from toxic substances and slows down the processes of apoptosis, the natural programmed cell death. Number 4. Sweet potato. Do you believe the theory that if a food looks similar to an organ in our bodies, it helps to nurture that particular organ? Like walnuts for brains, celery for bones, and tomatoes for the heart, the resemblance sweet potatoes have to the shape and color of the pancreas is uncanny. Having said that, sweet potatoes reduce the risk of pancreatic cancer by up to 50%. It also stabilizes blood sugar levels by releasing the sugar gradually into the bloodstream. According to the studies conducted in Japanese research institutes, the consumption of sweet potatoes increases the sensitivity of fat and muscle cells to insulin, which reduces the functional load on the pancreas. Sweet potato also helps normalize the intestinal microflora and prevents constipation, as it's not digested completely. Number 5. Blueberries. The fresh berries as well as blueberry leaves tea stimulate all the stages of glucagon synthesis and secretion without causing an overload of the pancreas or destructive changes. The other advantages of blueberries are improving the rheological properties of bile and preventing stone formation in the pancreatobiliary ducts, which is a common cause of acute pancreatitis. Scientists from Virginia have concluded that the flavonoids contained in blueberries increase the number and mass of pancreatic B cells and also increase the insulin sensitivity of the tissues. The berries block the activation of enzymes in the secreted juice inside the ducts. Number 6. Red grapes. Red grapes contain resveratrol, a phenolic substance that is also considered a powerful antioxidant. It helps to reduce pancreatic inflammation and destroys pancreatic cancer cells as well. Experts advise taking a portion of red grapes once a day in its rawest form. People also choose to consume red wine in order to achieve the same benefits. However, eating it raw is far more advantageous than in any other form. Scientific studies have shown that red grape seed extract also has a powerful antioxidant property, which is expressed in inhibiting of lipid peroxidation and in increasing of the level of glutathione in the pancreas. And glutathione in turn destroys secondary metabolites that have inflammatory and sensitizing effect. The extract also significantly reduces the concentration of nitrates and nitrites in the pancreas. During the experiment conducted on rats, 72 hours after the injection of red grape extract, a higher concentration of serum insulin in the blood was detected, which favorably affected the general glycemic balance. Number 7. Licorice root. Licorice root is considered an excellent remedy for various disorders of the pancreas. The Chinese have used licorice for thousands of years in their traditional medicine. Licorice is laden with anti-inflammatory properties, which reduce the pain and swelling in pancreatitis. The modern research conducted by Japanese scientists has demonstrated the enhancement of the exocrine function of the pancreas without any damage at structural and molecular levels. Other beneficial foods. To improve the functioning of the pancreas, add the following groups of substances to your diet. Vitamin A contained in broccoli, tomatoes, carrots, parsley, apricots, and gooseberries. Vitamin B contained in carrots, herbs, and chicken. Vitamin E contained in cereals, sunflower, and linseed oils. Nickel, contained in any kind of meat products and pears. Cobalt, contained in red currants, raspberries and strawberries, black chokeberry and beetroot. Zinc, contained in parsley, wheat bran, plums and gooseberry. Vanadium, contained in lungwort. Chromium, contained in blueberry leaves and mulberry. What foods harm the pancreas? The most common ailment of the organ is acute or chronic pancreatitis. Only 20% of pancreatitis cases are caused by bad nutrition. In the majority of cases, the disease is caused by the combination of an unhealthy diet and somatic, infectious, or inflammatory diseases, as well as genetic defects and congenital anomalies. For the prevention of pancreatitis, it is necessary to limit the consumption of the following harmful food groups. Animal fats. They overload the pancreas, cause spastic disorders of the ducts, and premature activation of enzymes. All these factors cause the feeling of heaviness after a meal and have negative effect on the organ. The average person should consume no more than 65 grams of fat per day, and the perfect norm is 20 grams. Also, you should choose the foods with low percentage of saturated fat like turkey, fish, or chicken breast. Alcohol. Alcohol damages the tissues of the pancreas directly and causes the development of inflammatory processes. The combination of these disorders with dehydration, which develops within a few hours from the moment of use, is extremely dangerous, since it can cause acute pancreatitis. Extractive substances. This group includes coffee, spices, salt, and strong tea. These substances irritate the mucous membrane of the stomach and duodenum, which causes the reflexive activation of pancreas, which is not actually required. Rich meat and mushroom broths. Such heavy meals also significantly increase the activity of the secretory apparatus of the organ and as a result the formation of aseptic, inflammatory, or necrotic changes. Sweets. The most common cause of the development of both acute and chronic pancreatitis is the obstruction by a stone coming out of the gallbladder. Scientists claim it's linked to excessive consumption of simple carbohydrates, mainly sugar. Therefore, the percentage of simple carbs in the diet should be reduced to minimal. Smoking. Nicotine, which gets in the body during smoking, also has very harmful effect on the organ. 11 foods that literally kill pancreas. Sweet carbonated drinks. Many people know that such drinks should never be given to children, but only few people say that adults should not drink them too, because soda drinks can do serious harm to the entire gastrointestinal system and to the pancreas in particular. Soda severely irritates the mucous membrane. If you drink it often, it can provoke the development of chronic stomach pathology. In addition, there is a danger in artificial food colorings, which are no less bad for the health in general. Fast food. And this is not only about hamburgers and French fries. Convenience food includes semi-finished products and even ice cream. The problem is in concentrated harmful fats that negatively affect the work of the pancreas. Moreover, doctors say that regular consumption of such foods may cause gallstone disease that can be treated only by surgery. Confectionery. This includes low-quality or expired chocolate. The point is that these products contain a lot of sugar. After being consumed, it's rapidly absorbed by the body, provoking the release of insulin. As a result, the pancreas is working to its limit, which also increases the risk of the development of diabetes. Margarine. This is a dangerous product that should be excluded from the diet, and the main problem is that it's often included in various confectionery products. Yes, margarine is inexpensive, but it's always better to spend some money on high-quality butter. The main danger is the presence of fats and synthetic preservatives, which are very harmful, and it's not only about excess weight. Coffee. Yes, this drink has some benefits. It brings vigor, improves memory, and has many other advantages. However, it's not so good for the pancreas, and that's all because of the substances that cause appetite and stimulate the digestive tract. As a result, enzymes are produced that, in the absence of food in the stomach, destroy the mucous membrane. This can sooner or later lead to development of inflammatory processes. Therefore, coffee is contraindicated for drinking on an empty stomach. Alcohol. Actually, it should be on the first place on this list. Alcohol drinks destroy the brain, liver, and pancreas. Regular consumption of spirits leads to the accumulation of toxins in the pancreas, which can cause ulcers or pancreatitis. Garlic. Of course, the vegetable has plenty of benefits, but it irritates the mucous membrane, it's difficult to digest, and also it causes the feeling of heaviness in the stomach. For this reason, the patients with gastrointestinal pathologies should give the vegetable up. Mayonnaise. Well, everyone likes mayonnaise, and at the same time, the product occupies leading position in the rating of foods dangerous for the pancreas. It's all due to harmful fats, additives, and chemicals in the composition. Try to replace it with sour cream or prepare sauces yourself, thus you can at least be sure about the composition. Fatty fish and meat. For the pancreas, especially if there are any problems with the organ, fatty meat, soups, and aspic are also dangerous, since gastrointestinal system has difficulties digesting such food. Sausages. Unfortunately, today it's hardly possible to find all-natural sausage in a store. These products are usually full of colorings, fats, chemical additives, and large amounts of salt. But the main danger is the presence of carcinogens that cause various pathologies of the pancreas and GI system in general. Mushrooms. Yes, that's kind of good food, but mushrooms should be eaten only after boiling treatment, and of course not very often. After being fried, mushrooms become dangerous because they put great load on the pancreas. And let's not forget that mushrooms absorb everything from the soil they grow in, and be sure these are not only good substances. General rules of the diet. To get your pancreas healthy, focus on foods that are rich in protein, low in animal fats, and contain antioxidants. Try lean meats, beans and lentils, clear soups, and dairy alternatives, such as flax and almond milk. Your pancreas won't have to work as hard to process these. Research suggests that some people with pancreatitis can tolerate up to 30 to 40% of calories from fat when it's from whole food plant sources or medium-chain triglycerides. Others do better with much lower fat intake, such as 50 grams or less per day. Spinach, blueberries, cherries, and whole grains can work to protect your digestion and fight the free radicals that damage your organs. If you're craving for something sweet, reach for fruit instead of added sugars, since those with pancreatitis are at high risk for diabetes. Consider cherry tomatoes, cucumbers, and hummus and fruit as your to-go snacks. Your pancreas will thank you. That's all we wanted to tell you today. On this channel, you will find videos about the benefits of different foods, about diseases and effective methods of their treatment, as well as interesting information about housekeeping and gardening. So make sure to subscribe to Big Progress and ring the bell, click the like button under the video, and share it with your family and friends. See you soon!